Hey everybody, welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. It's your girl, Coach Crystal, and we are back for another installment of a candid conversation with someone who's in my circle, someone who I think of as a thought partner. But if you're new to our community, first of all, I just want to bring you in and welcome you to the Steps and Stages community with our mantra. It goes a little something like this. A lot of things happen before this, and I guarantee a lot of things are going to happen after this, but I promise to be here with you now. Please be here with me now. Tonight, you are in for a treat. I mean, maybe you caught us last week when we were talking to Dr. RJ about burnout. And sometimes the burnout comes from not giving ourselves permission to do the thing we're built to do, or to ask for what we need in situations that feel like they don't have our best interest at heart. So tonight, I wanted to bring in a thought partner of mine, Christy Rutherford, who's going to talk to us a little bit about the art of asking. Christy, welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. How you doing?
I'm great. My camera's going in and out.
That's okay. We'll make sure we can see you. I can see you fine right now.
Okay, we gonna get it right.
We're gonna get it right. Right. Well, we just understand that it's gonna be a powerful night of conversation already when the technology is trying to come up and just fall out.
Okay. The technology is cutting up. Hold on.
Okay. Y'all, Christy is joining us tonight to talk about the art of asking. But before we get into that, Christy, just tell the people in your own words a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Okay. My name is Christy Rutherford. I'm the greatest at what I do. I was super cute with my ring light. Let me tell y'all something. I was like, ain't no way Christy gonna get on here and look better than me. So
but we don't compete. We just show up.
I went and put on my lipstick and I was ready. So let me see if I can. Let me turn this light on right quick. So I do executive coaching. So I assist women in leadership. Give me 30 seconds. Let me see if I can turn this light on.
Y'all, this is real. I just want to tell y'all, right? These are real people, real conversations. I mean, and I just want to be clear. I mean, I'm just cute. I mean, the light is on.
I had the 4K camera working for me. And you know, my light skinnedness, and then it went out like right where you said, Christy, you're gonna come on. It was like,
tell you, the melanin is here. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, we joking, but for real.
I love it.
Okay.
Hey Dana. So I am Christy Rutherford. I assist women in leadership with earning raises, bonuses, and promotions through office politics and self-care. $10 million in salary raises for women in leadership in a pandemic. Ow!
That's what I do. Yeah, that's what she does, right? So listen. Here's what we just want to jump right in, because a lot of this visioning work that we do, that I do, is really about people getting over the idea that they need permission.
Yeah.
Right. So let's just go ahead and throw that on the table, Christy. Permission is one of the boundaries to people actually accessing their full power. Right. I'm sure you find this with the women that you coach. I definitely find it in our community. Permission to be, do, have, become more. Mm-hmm. What's the strongest barrier that you see when people don't want to give themselves permission? What's the biggest hurdle?
I think it is, for me, you know, we work on a lot of stuff that happened in childhood, right?
Yeah.
So really it's not necessarily about permission. It's like, who told you who you couldn't be a long time ago?
Correct.
Who told you that you weren't good enough? Who told you that you weren't going to make it? And so once we can get clear on one, who told you, but really I think the root of that and the sponsoring thought is, what is the conversation that you're having with yourself before you ask? And then who planted that seed there? And that's the work.
Right. So here's the thing. When you talk about dialing it back, right? Uncovering the real root. Y'all, if Christy don't get this camera together. Okay. The real root, right, of where the thought came from.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we talk about this a lot in our community, but let's just break it down. Here we are, two successful women who come from pretty similar kind of family backgrounds. I mean, your family is much bigger than mine. I've seen the pictures,
massive.
Right? But massive, right? But still in that construct of doing something that other people in our family weren't doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Yeah. So having that initial understanding that there was more reality than the reality you were raised in has a lot to do with who you ask permission from. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, you know, part of it is also before you, and, you know, we can go 10 layers on this thing. Luckily,
exactly.
a little bit of time. We got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But it's like, one, what is the conversation that you're having with yourself that we just talked about? And then two, it's what are the conversations that you're having with other people about yourself? So it's what is the conversation that you're having about yourself to yourself? What's the conversation that you're having about yourself to others? And what are you allowing other people to say to you? And a lot of times you can't tell big dreams to small-minded people. So when people are comfortable with being where they are and blaming everybody for their suffering, before they go step out and do something big, they ask the smallest minded person for permission. And that person is, of course, going to talk them out of it. Does that make sense? Like, you go to the hater
to be like, hey, you think I should do this?
Yeah, and they're going to be like, oh, no, because last time Dolores did that. Who is Dolores?
Right.
Last time Dolores did that, she lost all her money and she had to move into a cardboard box.
Right.
So people who want to stay stuck will go ask the biggest haterade person for permission to be greater and know they're not going to get it. And then they use that as a silent agreement to stay mediocre.
Exactly. It's true.
I can't say that no better.
No, I mean, it's true, y'all, because listen, when you're afraid of something, you're only going to find things that substantiate your fear.
Yeah.
Listen, if I want to tell people that I want to eat Oreos at night, I'm going to tell them it's because the sugar just puts me into a little bit of a coma and I sleep better. I can justify anything, right? If I want to.
Yeah, you say that to me, it's going to be different because you're talking to a person that's going to hold you accountable for what you want. Be like, you can't have no 6-pack and a young tenderoni booty eating Oreos all night. I mean, not that dance body.
Y'all, listen, here's the deal. Tonight, we're going to talk about permission, about asking. And I want to give you some real clarity here because I don't want any type of theory or coaching practice or different types of pedagogy to go over your head tonight. Okay. When we talk about permission, we are literally talking about the definition of consent or authorization. If you've given somebody else consent or authorization over your life, then you've lost your power.
Yeah.
All we're really trying to say is that as you regain some type of focus and clarity on who you're meant to be in your own power, you less and less need permission, authorization, validation, or consent from anybody else.
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Waddles. William George Jordan talked about self-reliance. So I saw self-reliance and Think and Grow Rich. It's an As a Man Thinketh. It's in the Majesty of Calmness. So a lot of these books were written in the late 1800s and early 1900s. And William George Jordan said in the Majesty of Calmness, he said, self-confidence without self-reliance is as useless as a cooking recipe without food. Right. He said, be an oak and not a vine. Be willing to stand alone. So an oak can shoot up 300 feet by itself. A vine has to reach on to something and wrap around this stuff in order to go up. Mm-hmm. So he said, be ready to crave support or be ready to give support, but do not crave it. Yeah. So a lot of times we're looking for other people to support us in what we know God has called us to be and called us to do. And so when they say they wouldn't do it, they're not uniquely qualified to be able to carry out that mission. So I wouldn't do that. Well, you're not that person.
Correct. Right. Yeah. Or that sounds risky to me. The other thing you're saying, Christy, is I want to debunk this for some people who think that standing alone is the only way to work it out. Right. So sometimes. Exactly. That's all I'm saying. But we want to be clear because people hear things different ways, right? Yeah. Okay. Nobody grows alone, right? Yeah. The oak has deep roots that are connected to a system of nutrients and life that are pushing it towards its higher good. So let's be clear. Nobody grows alone. There's a community for you. There are teachers for you. Mm-hmm. And as soon as you make the decision that you're ready to grow, it's just like the Tao says, right? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. But sometimes we're looking for it in a very particular package or in a very particular state or in a very particular environment. And we want to do it like we saw somebody else do it. And can't nobody do it like you need to do it.
Well, a part of it is, one, believing in yourself that you can do it, but you will need a team. You can't do it alone. It's impossible to do it alone. But when you talked about the roots are connected to a system, it is like-minded roots.
Yes.
The oak that is growing high is connected to like-minded roots to be able to support, the growth of each other. And so getting out of your way and giving yourself permission to win and play bigger, but then finding other people who are going to play at that same level and not try to drag everybody with you.
Yes. Everybody can't go.
Everybody can't go, and you have to be able to connect with people. Like we're accountability partners.
Yeah.
We're on a mission to change the world. Now, if I had to drag you around, you'd be like, man, this is more a mentorship relationship. It's not accountability because we're not on the same. That means that we're not on the same level I'm trying to bring you. And I think a lot of times when people want to step out, they want to immediately reach back before they reach somewhere. I'm like, no, how about you get out of the water first? And then you can save other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drowning people can't help drowning people.
They can't. I mean, listen, and learning how to swim is an individual act, right? The learning is individual.
Yeah.
The growth is many times communal. But the vision has to be very specific to you and your gifts, right? Like, okay, everybody, we joke about this all the time, especially in our mastermind. People are like, oh, Crystal the dancer, right? I'll be like, listen, y'all, I've been dancing so long, I don't even, it ain't the thing I love to do, but I love how it makes people feel, right? That part, understanding that your gift can have impact, but it may not be the direct gift that you should be, the direct path you're utilizing it for.
Yep.
Let's talk about some things that people are afraid to ask for. One of the things that I know you and your clients work hard on is people being afraid to ask for what they're worth in a monetary sense.
I was jealous of your lighting. I was trying to get my camera.
This girl. There you go. No. Yeah, somebody type in the chat, stay focused. She's still worried about this light.
I'm not.
I just glow like this.
Look, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about an 8.5 right now. I'm trying to get to a 10. So I was just trying to pump it up, but we're gonna let it go. I'm gonna say the 8.5.
Let it rock. Let it rock.
I was focused on this camera. It turned on and then it kicked me out. What was the question again?
The question is, one of the things that people have a hard time asking for that you focus on is their worth, right? Yeah. Salaries. Like, let's talk about what is so hard about asking for what you're worth.
It's whether or not you believe that you deserve it. A lot of people work to be dependable. They're the dependable ones at work, but they don't really believe that they deserve it. Yep. And they have sight but no vision. So I like to ask women, if I was your fairy godmother from Wakanda and I waved my vibranium wand, what would you ask for? And a lot of people are just focused on their job. And in the moment, they're not giving themselves permission to be able to ask bigger. They're not looking past the lifestyle that they can have that's outside of their raggedy check. Yeah. So a lot of people are so focused on what their check can do for them and not what God has in store for them if they got out of the way and gave themselves permission to serve on a higher level.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, right? Because most people are stuck in their plans.
Yes.
Yeah, and plans and goals, I think, are just breeding grounds for defeat and passive realities, right? So when we get into visioning, we're like, okay, what's greater, what's bigger, what's freer, what's fuller? And in that case, if I'm going to be free, I got to sometimes pay the cost of freedom that I didn't even know existed.
Amen.
I mean, I'm just saying. So if I'm going to ask for something that I don't think I'm worth yet, I then got to do the interior work to carve out or build a sense of deserving that matches that next level. Go for it. Go.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are willing to get uncomfortable. That's good. And many are called, but the few are chosen. It's not the chosen of few. That people act like God chose. No, the few are chosen. The people who are crazy enough to say, yes, I'm willing to do the work.
Right.
And then you set out on the journey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Being in agreement with your soul's calling is a journey of who you're going to become to be able to be that person that you see.
Right.
My practice said something interesting. He said a goal is not necessarily about what you're going to do when you get it. It's who do you have to become to be able to achieve it. That's what goals are for.
Exactly. And the thing is that what you're also saying is, one of my mentors says this all the time, you turn your discomfort into inquiry. But you also got to fall in love with the practice.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't know how many people are here. We're reading, my clients are reading it right now. Chop wood, carry water, right? Falling in love with the process of becoming great. You got to fall in love with the process, which is what you're saying. The journey is making you, not just about the manifestation of the thing you want. You got to be transforming the person you are to even know when that thing arrives, because it might not look like what you thought it was going to look like.
Well, I had a vision in 2014 that I was going to be a prosperity preacher. But I said, Lord, I cuss more than anybody. I don't know no scripture. And, I'm a little crazy. So here we are, 2022. I quote more scripture than most people. I also cuss. Wow, quote scripture. God made me like this, uniquely qualified to be able to carry out my mission. I'm not for everybody, but I'm for, who's willing to listen and be able to connect with my message so they can be greater. So it's close, but it's not it's not like, oh, you're going to be this. And I'm like, oh, that's impossible. That's insane.
Right.
I'm close enough to it where it actually makes sense. So sometimes your mind, when you hear things or you say, this is the vision, it will knock you off your rocker. Like I had to take a nap when I had that vision, but here we are, 8 years later, I'm close enough to it in my own uniqueness, being able to serve the world in the way that I'm supposed to. And it doesn't look like everybody else. It looked like Christy's lane.
Exactly. But that's the thing, right? Sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, our past is giving us definitions of language that our mind is translating. So the closest thing your mind could get to in the language that we know was prosperity preacher, right? Okay, someone who, I do my, I try. Okay. Someone who builds the language and the wealth and strategies for wealth that inspires people to be greater, right? It's the same thing, right? It's ministry in a different way. Many people, Christy, are out there looking for their own real kind of life ministry, right? They're looking for a way to use their gift in the world that has good in it for others. And whether they think they're an entrepreneur or not, the business of them becoming who they're supposed to be is something that they constantly are putting other people in place to give them permission to do or not do. Right. So getting back to this asking, I'm a big proponent on the questions have to come to you and from you first. Yeah. Right. Before you do what you're saying, like go out and just get somebody who's less than to validate your fear and your weakness.
But the thing about purpose isn't found. Purpose is revealed. It's in you. You came here. Dr. Miles Monroe said, we all were born to solve a problem for our generation. He said, the problem is most people get a job, but that is not the work that you were called to do.
Right.
So when it comes to purpose, you were born here. You came here with it. You can feel it. So is you calling you back to you so you can do the work that you're called to do. So a lot of times people say, I'm looking for my purpose. And I'm like, no, why don't we uncover your crazy?
Right.
Why you're playing small, why you're acting like an introvert when you're just playing small. Why can't you see your vision? Who says something to you? Where did you leave you? So all of those things and the internal work have to be done to be able to reveal who's been there all along.
Exactly. And that's the real work. No matter what people are thinking about, right? They're like, oh, well, I got this degree and I got that. Y'all, we're not throwing up no letters after names on here. We got degrees. Like people, like that's not the thing. The thing is, it doesn't matter who endorsed you. Yes. It matters the endorsement you give yourself. And that gives you full power to ask for whatever it is you need from other people, from God, from each other, from like that's the real work.
I think a part of what Wallace E. Wattles talked about in The Science of Getting Rich, I'm a nerd.
Yeah, no, we like we read the books. We read.
Okay, great. He said people haven't figured out that you work with the Father, that you do what you see if the Father will have you do. So you're not by yourself. You're working in tandem with God. So part of the way that I operate, my CFO asked me, Christy, how do you make your financial decisions? I'd be like, well, do I have what they asked me for initially? And then God is going to take care of the rest. Yeah. So I'm working with God. If the things that I want to do is in alignment with my purpose, why wouldn't God write the check for that?
Correct.
So I'm very risque, Christo. I'm very risque. But he's a provider, because if I'm here to do great work, it's going to take a lot. It's taking a lot of capital to build this company. My God, somebody
Of
help me. But
course.
it's like, God shows up with the provision. So there's a difference between having a check and getting provision. Provision is when you're in alignment with your destiny and who you're meant to be. You can't stop that money from chasing you down.
Let me just be clear. Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
The prosperity preacher's talking. So when you have your provision, you can't stop the money from coming to you, but that's when you're in alignment with your passion and who you're meant to be. So I'm not knocking the check because I like the check. Let's be clear. But my goal with the work that I do, and I know some of the work that you do, I'm not gonna put that on you, but it's to work yourself. A job can only hold your gift for so long. It's how do I use this check to be able to fund my business to then work myself out of a job so I can fully do and be passionate about why I'm here. And I wake up on Monday saying, today, Monday, this federal holiday, those freaking Americans, what are y'all talking about?
Labor days.
Yeah, we're here. So it's all about working in passion. But what were you going to say on provision?
It just hit me, and I don't want to step on your toes, Pastor, but it feels like provision is proof of the vision. You understand? You understand where we get that from? So when we don't need to see proof, because when it is in alignment with the vision is built on a foundation of faith, which is what we know to be true without having to see the proof of it, the provision shall come.
Amen. And hallelujah.
Okay.
Let the congregation say amen.
Go on and type in the chat, y'all. Amen. Listen, but it's true, right? We're joking, but it's true. Both of us have lived lives where we have said yes before the provision was there. We have said yes when the bank account said no. I have said yes when the bank said no. I've said yes when the builder said no. I'm sitting in a house where everybody said no, but God said yes. There was a hole dug in the ground, and here it is. Right? So I believe way beyond what other people see as factual, right? Because facts are very limiting beliefs.
Well, it's like we had to believe the vision that we saw until they saw it, right? So you're going to have that download spiritually. It's going to be so clear. Then are you willing to do the work to become the person that can materialize the vision so then they can see what you saw?
Right.
That's the work.
Yes. And fall in love with the dark parts of you so that they don't become hindrances to you in the brightness of the vision.
I always tell people, y'all better not quit y'all good job for these entrepreneurship streets, because entrepreneurship is going to show you who you really are. And if you're depleted, and if you're an empty cup, then you're going to become a smashed Coke can. You get out here in these entrepreneurship streets, because women, I just say people, but I work with women, but it's like I had a bullseye on my forehead because I saved about 6 figures and I didn't know what I was doing, but I'm arrogant and I'm confident because I'm a winner. I'm the ish, and I'm gonna come out here in these entrepreneurships and I'm, entrepreneurship streets, and I'm gonna kill it. And I was the biggest sucker because I didn't know what I was doing and I had money. So it's very dangerous to have money and to think that this is that.
Yes.
To think that I'm the manager or the leader of 168 people. We manage a $5 million budget, and I do this and I do that, and I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
No. This over here is 100% Christy, the personally undeveloped, just small in my stature and in my energy. My professional persona is huge. They're not the same person. The person that's going to do your business is the person that now needs to grow from a personal standpoint and not from your professional credentials. That they're not the same.
Yeah. I mean, that's real. Everybody is not meant to be an entrepreneur because everyone does not have, I'm going to say, for lack of actually, I think it's one of the key things. Everybody doesn't have the humility to learn what they don't know.
I think you got to be clinically insane to be an entrepreneur, but
I come to it from a different angle, right? I came to it from being an artist, which of course you got to be clinically insane to be an artist too. So I felt like I was already ready, So I don't know, like I didn't come from that angle. I'm a backdoor a lot of things, right? Like but it's all the same. It's all the same transferable skills, though, right? Like in this visioning work is like second nature to me because I've been imagining things and put them in my body and selling them to people on stage forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I believe everybody has the power to do. That's what we're saying. But you can't ask anybody for permission. When I asked my mother, could I be a dancer? She was like, and what else? Right? When I told people I was going to college for that, and what else? And what you gonna do with that? So you're gonna be a dance teacher? No, I'm not. Right? When I tell people what a dance company is, they're like, yeah, like a school. No. It's not a school.
Right? No, not at all.
All the things. When you tell people, hey, I'm a coach, you're like, okay, so what does that mean? What do you do? You know, it's all that way that we kind of devalue our own gift because someone else has a question. It's okay that people have a question.
I tell people I'm a general hustler and unicorn rider. I never tell them really what I do.
No, there you go. There you go.
Unless I'm going to swipe your card while we're talking.
Right? Like, but it's that type of level of confidence that you have to have in your own ability.
Yes.
In order to be able to let the gift be seen by other people. Because many people have amazing gifts, but every time they show a peek of it, someone asks them a question and they feel like the question is an attack. The question is not an attack. The question is an opportunity for you to refine your gift.
And I think it's really about people becoming comfortable with who they are. And for me, it took a while because I wasn't trying to coach women. I wasn't trying to tell my story. I didn't want to talk about Christy Rutherford, falling down and burning out and crack it up and right. Because I don't look like what I've been through. Hey. But I didn't want to talk about all of that. I want to talk about how to be the greatest leader because I am and was the greatest leader ever in my career. I always wanted to talk about leadership, and God was like, "No, you're here to be the person that I needed 10 years ago before I cracked up and resigned from my career and ran away like Tina Turner ran from Ike in that white suit." So it's like I am who I needed 10 years ago. So I have a message to share. I have a real world lesson, and I wouldn't submit to the calling, I would say, and I ain't make no money. So God was like, well, I ain't gonna give you $1. So I was like, okay, what did you say again?
What's the assignment again? Can you show me the syllabus?
But then it took a while, Crystal, to be 100% proof on social media because I'm a lot. You see me live and in person on weekends, and this is nothing. What they see, they be like, my God.
I see her, y'all. I seen it.
So, is the world ready for Christy Rutherford at 100 proof? Because it's off the chain. And so is one day I got mad about something. Somebody pissed me off. I don't know, these women be acting crazy. So I just got on this video and I just went off. But that ended up becoming like my highest, like the most viewed video. And the most comments. I was like, oh, y'all like that? Because that's how I talk all the time for real. So if y'all like that, now I be hitting them in the head with it every day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So is are you comfortable? One, you have to become comfortable with yourself.
Yep.
That's first. Then it takes a little bit more work to be able to reveal that to other people. But the faster you do it, the faster you'll be able to assist the people who need you and need your gift.
Yes. And y'all, we're talking about it from our professional standpoint, but this is also really clear in your relationships with your spouses, your children, your friends. The quicker you reveal your full self, the quicker they have permission to reveal their full selves. And that's how you grow together. That's how the root system of families, relationship, businesses, all of those things become so entrenched in each other and are able to invest in the things that we want to grow in as individuals, right? Bottom line is your reality and your personality have to be the same. Otherwise, you're just bifurcating your own reality and losing. You're falling through the cracks.
Okay, bifurcating. Mark will be very proud. But the thing about it is,
he's gonna Google it.
I know. People don't trust people who don't trust themselves.
Yes.
And so it shows up at work too. If you're not comfortable and confident in who you are, you show up acting schizophrenic. You wonder why people keep getting promoted over you because you're not comfortable with yourself, and not being comfortable with yourself makes everybody uncomfortable with you.
Yes.
And so it's something they can't articulate why they don't like you is because you don't like you.
Right. That's good. And then you have a problem asking for your value because you have no values.
Yes.
You've been so inconsistent that people know you have fluctuating value. So how can they ask? How can you ask for something? Right? You can't be trusted.
Yeah, you can't be trusted. So you're afraid to ask. And when you do ask, you ask so weakly that they tell you no. They be like, well, how about we just give you 2 rolls of toilet tissue? And then you'll be like, okay. And then you going about it, bragging about,
Right.
The
I
$500.
got an overroll and an underroll. Yeah.
Yeah, you deserve $100,000 raise, and they gave you a $50 Amazon card. And you celebrating? I ain't clapping.
Yeah.
Get out of here with that.
No. Bottom line, y'all, values turn into value. Yep. Establishing value for yourself and your gift takes work. It takes going and growing beyond the persona of who you think they think you are into really the authentic person that you want to be in every area of your life. The fluctuation of who you are should not change in any room. Yeah. And everyone should be able to know who they're dealing with.
Yeah. Well, you should know who you're dealing with. And then they'll figure it out.
Right. Exactly. All right, y'all, we got a little bit more time. We're happy to take your questions. I know this is,
y'all better ask me questions because Chris
having a great time.
Expensive.
Right. I mean, you don't get this kind of live Q&A for free, y'all. I'm just saying.
Baby.
Right. We start our next cohort on September 12th. If you haven't reached out, then you need to make sure this is the last cohort of the year, and next year we're moving into a different model. So I'm just saying, don't miss your opportunity.
Your opportunity.
Yeah, don't miss it. I mean, because then what you're going to do? Go ask somebody, should I have done it?
Yeah, I think that people should give themselves permission to be great in 2023. And, problem, Crystal, is in 2019, people were like, this is going to be my best year ever. 2020, they said, it's going to be my greatest year ever. Do you ever seen that on Facebook?
Oh, yeah. 2020 vision.
Nope, nobody said anything. 2022, they just say, we just going to see what happened. People stop
dreaming,
thinking, and they stop dreaming, and they've fallen into what Napoleon Hill calls hypnotic rhythm. You're just going to see what happened. Well, nothing is going to happen.
Nothing.
So, have somebody, an expert, take you by the hand and walk you through your self-limiting beliefs to come out on the other side so you can make 2023 the best year of your life.
Exactly. I mean,
Coach Crystal, that's what you do.
That's what you do. That's what I do. But the thing is that you just really hit on, Christy, is that falling into default is your fault.
That's good.
Right. When you fall into default without having a design, without having a vision for yourself, and you just fall back into this hypnotic day by day doing, you're just doing nothing.
Nothing.
And the strategies that we've been taught, I mean, you hear it all the time. I hear it all the time. Well, I want to be better, so I'm going to go take this other course. I want to be better, so I'm going to get a new certification. I want to advance in my career, so I'm going to go get another degree. You hear it all the time, right?
Well, the thing about certifications is you're still feeding that professional persona that I talked about earlier. You're not feeding the personal person. So your professional persona is 300 feet tall. You walk in a room, people know you're there.
Yeah.
People know you're great. You got 1 million degrees. You got the I Love Me wall. You got the awards. You're the top 1%. You got the trophies. But your personal self, when it gets to higher levels of leadership, that personal self has to be able to match your professional persona. And that's what I got wrong.
Exactly.
And that's how I know a lot of people do it. So personally, we're so inconsistent and not confident that we're so afraid to ask. And it's because you shouldn't have a home self and a work self. They should be one person. You should be of one mind. The 2 people on earth that should touch and agree on anything should be you and you.
Right. Yep. I mean, I got 3 of them, me, myself, and I. It's 3 of us over here. Yeah. But what you're saying is true, right? You can't keep switching on and off the mask because that, first of all, it's exhausting. And when we get exhausted, there's no good comes from that.
Well, a lot of men, if you think about it in the workplace, they will tell you, Jeff is an a-hole. Watch out for him. Right? They be like, Tony's a jerk. Watch out for him.
Yeah.
So they're consistent in being toxic.
Yes.
And people will explain it to you and they're respected for that. But you over here acting schizophrenic. You're nice one day, you're passive another day, you're passive aggressive the next day, then you're aggressive full on. You're not talking, you melted the paint off the walls. And so you're unpredictable in your emotions because you're trying to hold it in. It's almost like, having a pot that's boiling and then the top is kind of like, going crazy. People don't trust that. People will trust the guy who's a steady a-hole.
It's true. It's
or
true.
a steady toxic person, because they can trust that. They can't trust you because you smiling one day and you melting the paint off the walls the next day. Yeah, so once you get clear on who you are and you do the work to clean up how you see yourself, then you can kind of relax and exhale and be like, woosah. And then you can show up and then be able to get what you deserve and ask for it and get it, because you're asking for it from a place of being rooted and not from, just swinging in the wind, hoping that you'll be pleasing to people. And that's never going to happen. No,
that's good. That's good. Listen, the people pleasing is like cancer. I mean, I tell people comfort is like cancer. You know what I mean? Like when we get so settled into something that is eating away at us when we think we're doing the right thing. Yeah. Like you think you're doing all the right things and you're just eroding from the inside. Say again?
I said I did it. Sold, SOULED out. Sold out.
Yeah. And the real work, I mean, we said this in the beginning, the real work happens on the inside.
Yes.
The real work is not happening out there when people are looking. The real work is happening on the inside. And you got to start investing, y'all, in the real work, not just the accreditation from other people's systems. Yes. This is about you building a system for your gift, a foundation for what you would love, a life by design. Now, we're going to let Christy go because, she's already done got cute for us tonight.
Partially cute. My light wouldn't work, but, I was.
Oh, my God.
You turned the camera on and you was all fine and glowing and melanin popping. And I was like, hold up. I can't be over here looking regular. Like, I just got finished working out. I got to get mine for y'all.
I told her this is still my carpool t-shirt.
I'm going to need that t-shirt, though. I know you're going to
I get you one.
Okay. I'm going to need that.
It's like I don't get her clothes. She be wearing my clothes, y'all.
I sure do.
Right. See what I'm saying? Here's the thing. I love you, Christy. I appreciate your time. For everybody out there watching, all the people in the comments, Dana, Davine, Lisa, thank y'all for joining us. If you're watching the replay and it's September 11th, you might want to go ahead and jump over and schedule your free vision call.
Step with her.
Step with it. Starts September 12th is the last Vision Builder cohort of the year. I want to see you there, but only if you're ready to do the work. All right? Let's do the work, the real work, the inner work. Peace out. This is Wisdom Wednesdays. Thank y'all. Love you. Have an amazing week.
Bye, y'all.